Now let us describe what exactly layered approach means. Basically, a reference model is a conceptual blueprint of how communications should take place. It addresses all the processes required for effective communication and divides these processes into logical groupings called layers. When a communication system is designed in this manner, it's known as layered architecture. Think of it like this. Say you and some friends want to start a company. Now, one of the first things you will do is to sit down and think through what tasks must be done, who will do them, the order in which they will be done, and how they relate to each other. Ultimately, you might group these tasks into departments. Let's say you decide to have a customer service department, an inventory department, and a shipping department. Each of your department has its own unique tasks, keeping its staff members busy and requiring them to focus only on their own duties. Now, in this scenario, I am using departments as a metaphor for the layers in a communication system. For things to run smoothly, the staff of each department has to trust and rely on heavily on the others to do their jobs and competently handle their unique responsibilities. During your planning sessions, you'll probably take notes, recording the entire process to facilitate later discussions about standards and operation that will serve your business as a blueprint or a reference model. Once your business is launched, each department leader will need to develop practical methods to implement their assigned tasks using the specific part of the business models. Now, these practical methods or protocols must be compiled into a standard operating procedures manually and followed closely. The procedures in your manual will have been included for different reasons and have varying degrees of importance and implementation. If you form a partnership or acquire another company, it will be crucial for its business protocols to either match or be compatible with yours. Similarly, software developers can use a reference model to understand computer communication processes and see exactly what must be accomplished on any one layer and how. In other words, if I need to develop a protocol for a certain layer, I only need to focus on that specific layer's functions. I don't need to be concerned with those any of other layers because different protocols will be in place to meet the different layer needs. The technical term for this idea is known as binding. The communication processes that are related to each other are bound and grouped together at a particular layer. Now let us have a look at the advantages of a reference model. The OSI model is hierarchical model, and I'd like to point out that same beneficial characteristics can actually apply to any layered model. Understand that the central purpose of the OSI model and all networking models is to allow different vendors' networks to interoperate smoothly. The first advantage being the OSI model divides the network communication process into smaller and simpler components, thus it aids component development, design, and troubleshooting. It also allows multiple vendor development through standardization of network components. Third, it encourages industry standardization by defining the specific functions that can occur at each layer of the model. Next, it allows various types of network hardware and software to communicate. And finally, it prevents changes in one layer from affecting other layers and isolating the development and making application programming much easier. Now, this was all for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will see what exactly the OSI reference model is.